Deborah, one thing quickly. What are you grateful for?
My light.
Deb?
Here.
My family.
Endless love.
That I'm here.
Okay.
My family. Kenneth.
My family.
Kenneth, no. Support and friends and loved ones.
We'll get it to him.
My family, and that includes all of you.
Life. My chosen family. My loving and supportive family.
There's so much, everything and everybody all at the same time.
My children.
My spiritual community here.
Being here and present at this moment.
I'm grateful for God.
That I'm still here.
My family and friends.
My spiritual home.
Support. This place. I'm grateful for life.
I'm grateful for my banged up Suburban. I'm grateful for my Unity family.
I'm grateful for God and all that God is.
My family, especially Garrett and Kenneth.
I'm grateful for Unity Center, my family, and my health.
All of my family, my children, my outlaws, all of you guys.
Yes, outlaws.
Love. Nourishment.
I'm grateful for life and love.
I'm grateful for love, joy, my family, health, and trust in life. It's all working out.
Being alive still. For my health.
And I'm grateful for willingness to see, to frequently be willing to look at things differently than I looked at them before. Did we get everybody? Okay, somehow. Betsy, I couldn't remember yours.
Family.
Family, okay. Oh, fam. Gratitude, the number one healer. I call this talk because it's a motto of mine, and I believe in it. Even though sometimes I forget to be grateful, but I do believe, just as resentment is the number one killer, gratitude is the number one healer. Yeah, gratitude, resentment will kill cells faster than anything. And gratitude. Hey, Millie, come here. Come here. We need something you're grateful for. We just went around the whole room.
Oh, okay.
We're not singling you out.
Thank you. Well, I'm grateful especially for this community.
Beautiful.
Okay.
One thing, I didn't need a litany. Didn't need your whole life story. And so, when things are coming up, it doesn't mean you're not going to have feelings about them. This is not to suppress anyone's feelings or sensations. If we live a life of love and gratitude, then it's safe to have the feelings. Then it's not shameful to have the feelings or the sensations. And so therefore, we can go on about our business. Who was it? Arun Gandhi, Gandhi's grandson. He and his wife came to do an event at Unity of New York after 9/11. And the minister and a few people took them down to Ground Zero. And when she got there, it was like noonish, she had a huge wailing at the site for what had taken place. tremendous wailing. And she wiped her eyes and said, "No, let's go to lunch." She had her sensations, she had her feelings. And then she could go on with the next thing. The next thing, she didn't have to suppress it for fear of what anybody would think about her. Now, I don't think we need to act out our rage, people, because the rage is usually a suppression of the upset. Rage is generally suppressing the sadness, the sensation of being unloved. We're thinking we are somehow unloved. And that's when people get rageful and they act out in violence and things, is because they're so into their minds. They are so unloved. And they don't know what to do with that sense of unloved, and it doesn't occur to them to come to unity. I invite you all to come to unity and know that you are loved and that you may cry. You may have your sensations, but you're also allowed to laugh. We were at a party last Sunday night, and I heard a funny story. It happened in a Broadway theater one night, and a man laughed really loudly because he was having such a good time, and he was loving the show. And the man next to him, a stranger, said, "I wish you wouldn't laugh so loudly. I think it's very rude." And Stephen Sondheim said, "Well, I think it's polite to laugh at someone's show." And he was criticizing Sondheim for having a good time at his friend's Broadway show. And so it tells you, no matter how big you get, there's somebody in the theater who will criticize you for doing something. You don't know who Sondheim is? He's one of the biggest Broadway composers. He wrote Into the Woods. He wrote, he is huge. West Side Story, Gypsy. He's a big deal in the theater, and he's almost 90 now. And we've done a lot of it. It's okay. It's okay. Not everybody has to know. It's not everybody has to know, but now you do. I suggest you go online and listen to his music. It's extraordinary. And so to look at these things and say, oh, how do I become grateful? You know, I've had many occasions where I have absolutely refused to look for gratitude. In the theater often is one of them, with the people around me. That's one of the last places I always say, God, show me how to be grateful for this. But to look in our own home, let's start there. To look in our own home and look around and say, how could I be grateful? Now, Charles Fillmore, Unity's co-founder, I'm going to read this to you. It's the definition of gratitude from the Revealing Word. And it says, all metaphysicians, and that's what we are, have found by experience that being thankful for what they have increases the inflow. Gratitude is a great mind magnet, and when it is expressed from the spiritual standpoint, it is powerfully augmented. The saying of grace at the table has its origin in this idea of the power of increase through giving thanks. Oh, that was not the, maybe it was. Yeah, it is. Here's the beginning of it. Gratitude and thanksgiving are both necessary in demonstrating prosperity through divine law. Be grateful to God or Source, whichever one you want to call it, and thankful to the friends whom God uses to supply you. Meaning, it comes through many resources. We're good channels through each of us out into the world and through the whole world to me. Be grateful to the source and all I like how you put friends that Spirit uses to supply you, me, everyone. And in that gratitude, now another book I was reading somewhere, and it said, if you are not grateful for what money you have, how do you expect to acquire more? And so you look at what you currently are experiencing, and you praise it, and you give thanks for that amount. Do not call it a little. Because in God, there is no amount that's a lot and no amount that is a little. There is an amount. And it's what it represents for you. And so you look at the good you currently have, and if you want to multiply it, you bless it. It is this another teacher used sight and hearing. If you are sight challenged and you can see a little, bless it. Give thanks for it now, for what sight you have in order to increase the sight. Same with hearing. If you are hearing challenged, but you hear some, give thanks for the hearing you have if you want to open up the passageway for more. If you are walking, mobility challenged, you bless, you praise whatever mobility you have in order to expand it. If you have a friend, bless your friend. Bless your relationship if you want to have a multitude of friends. And we all want a multitude of friends. We want the entire world of beings to be our friend. You understand this? We want the entire multitude of beings in the world to be our friend. Doesn't mean we're going to lunch with all of them. But you want them on your side, just as you want to be the one on the world's side. You want to be proactive in your prayers, that all beings experience joy, that all beings experience themselves as loved, that all beings experience themselves as prosperous, that all beings, trust me, you want this whether you behave this way or not, or whether you even think this way or not. And I'm willing to guarantee that many of us don't have conversations that reflect that we want all beings to live in joy and love and prosperity. And perhaps we need to shift our conversations. Perhaps we need to rethink the news and say, oh, wait a minute. I can't keep acting as if one person is destroying the world. Or one person did destroy the world. Or one person. I can't keep behaving as if there is one person doing it. Because if I'm the one that's talking about it all the time, if I'm the one that's putting it out into the world, then I'm the one destroying the world. Not them, me. And so I got to look at that and say, oh, I don't want to be the one who destroys the world today. Anybody? Anybody? I don't want to be the one destroying the world today. And it's like, doggone it, but I got such a charge out of that. Oh, I got a little high from that voicing my opinions. The other night, someone in Palm Springs blocked me from Facebook because I disagreed with a posting that she had on Facebook. And I don't know this woman well. I know she had criticism of my show, which the language of my show, which surprises me because Joan Rivers was one of her best friends. And I thought, really? My language is a problem? But she had put down a celebrity that I'm a fan of, and she really condemned her to hell a little bit on Facebook. And I said, I'm a fan. And I said, is it a time we stop tearing each other down here and start building each other up? And I got blocked. I got blocked. Not just unfriended. I was blocked. Hey Sue. Doesn't matter. She can't see my Facebook Live as I'm blocked. It's most of you have seen my show. When I saw her a few months ago, she was at Lucy's show in the city, and she came up to me and said, "I have one word for you." I'm not gonna say what that one word was, but we laughed at that. But it's like those things that our sensitivity is so sensitive that we forget to be grateful when someone is pointing the way to God for us, and we see others who have no interest in our pointing the way. And it gets confusing. And so is there a better way to point? Is there a kinder, softer, gentler way? Because I'm willing to bet most of us in this room have been given feedback in a way that is less than constructive in life. Anybody? Have you received feedback in your life that you're like, oh, did they really mean that in love? Did they really? And I've certainly given it in a way that has been less than loving. And so to shift, we're using this Thanksgiving as an opportunity to rethink our gratitude level, to rethink our beloved patrons of God who are supporting us in our journey into the mental kingdom. And how would I support everyone else in their journey into the mental kingdom? Because it's, unity, it's pretty easy to do that in so many ways, at least for an hour or so on Sunday mornings. But, there's Sunday afternoon, Sunday night, Monday morning, and all the rest of the week. And it's like, oh, you mean I have to practice this all week? Well, I don't have to, but I'm not very peaceful when I don't. And when I get in the habit of looking for God's message in everyone, the love message, which is the message of love, if I look for it in everyone and everything, and someone comes at me rather harshly, and I say, "Wow, now why did I have to get the message that way?" And I look at it, and sometimes it's like, "Oh, because I needed to be shaken up." Because if it's all gentle praise, oh, you're so kind, you're so loving, oh, you're just wonderful, you can go to sleep with that. But sometimes if somebody gives you a good kick in the pants, it's like, oh, I'm awake. Okay, I'm listening. And so, thank you, God. I didn't know it had to come to me that way. But if somebody gives me that feedback in a way that's just painful, to say, okay, there's good in here. There has to be, because God is good. What's going on here that this person would love me so much as to behave like this with me? And so to look at it and say, but I don't want to be kind and loving to them. They hurt my feelings. But there is only God and there is only good. And so what's the truth in this, God? And I'll get through it. One of the kindest things we can do for ourselves is to stop smoking. It's one of the most loving things. And it's so uncomfortable. It doesn't feel kind during the withdrawal period. Does it? Anybody? Yeah. It's hell. I mean, oh, really? Yeah. Oh, my gosh. Dieting, the withdrawal from caffeine or sugar, it doesn't feel kind. Vipassana, 10 days of silence does not feel kind and loving and generous. But that's only because I'm not used to it. Vipassana threw Michelle down and broke her leg. I mean, it's and so who would, many of us have had sicknesses that we have healed from. And you think, why did I have to go through that? Many of us have had relationships that went way south and mean and nasty. And it's like, really? Didn't we start this thing in love and lust and excitement and thrill and plans? And then it went south. And it makes no sense. But just, okay, it got me from there to here. So I'm going to go ahead and call it good. And we'll see what comes from there. I'm going to read something here, as I usually do. On gratitude from the Holy Spirit's interpretation of the New Testament. The first one comes from Luke, and it's chapter 17, starts with verse 11. Gratitude is a great gift that lives within you. For true gratitude is the recognition of truth. It is an inherent appreciation for you and your freedom. Gratitude, as the remembrance of truth, nurses your willingness to full health. Do you hear that? Gratitude, as your remembrance of truth, nurses your willingness to full health. Do not hold back on gratitude. Take time to sit in quiet and know your gratitude. To know the fullness of your gratitude is to receive a glimpse of your truth, for your truth is gratitude and love. So what I suggest to you is the next time you knock over a glass of something and you weren't expecting to, say, oh, goody, I was hoping that would happen. You'll laugh, and your day won't be so miserable. I've practiced this many times over the years, and it brought a lot more joy into my day. That's like, oh my gosh! So the next time your Suburban gets slammed, you say, "Oh goody! I was hoping that would happen." See, you're laughing over the incident. Isn't that nice? At least for the moment. It says here, and this comes from Hebrews chapter 12:28. Worship in reverence and awe the true desire of the heart by giving your gratitude to it. Through gratitude, desire is increased. Through desire, faith is given. And through faith, all things that are useful to healing are brought in peace to stand quietly before you, awaiting the final pronouncement of your decision regarding them. Now, when I say to be grateful, I invite you to get somewhat specific and somehow a little less worldly. I think it's fine to be grateful for all our stuff, but get into better understanding of the source of your stuff. Get far more into greater understanding of the source of the chair, the floor, your body, your money, your relationships, the source and the supply. The source is spirit. The supply is divine ideas. And then we bring it forth into physical manifestation. Get a great understanding of what to really be grateful for. And it's not about, oh, I'm so grateful for God. Quite frankly, God just is. Become grateful for your awareness of God and your ever-expanding awareness of God and your willingness to see it expand. God, there's no point in being grateful for God. We will not please God by praising God. God cannot be pleased or disappointed. We can swear at God. We can throw things at God. We can heap empty praises up on God. God doesn't care. God is principle. God is source. It's me who needs to be aware of it. Become God conscious. That, oh, there is a source that is so much bigger than anything I have ever imagined or ever could imagine. And this source is fully willing for all beings to be happy, joyous, and free. All beings. Not just some, not just the ones we like. And there are no exceptions to this source, this supply. Be grateful for the source of your manifestations. You know, it'd be lovely to win the lottery, but the lottery is limited. The source of the money in the lottery is not. The source of wealth is not limited. The source of health is not limited. So while it's great to be grateful to our doctors, to our caregivers, be grateful that there is a source of health and it resides right within you. Right within you, each being. And so, while I cannot give health to another, I can remind another that health exists to the depths of our being, and wealth exists to the depths of our being, and harmony exists to the depths of our being. There is no absence of any good thing, even though I've certainly practiced that many times that there is. I have declared that there is an absence of good probably on any day of my life. But right now, right here, with all of you, I will not declare that there is an absence of good. I will declare there is a practice of the confusion of good, but not an absence of good. There are no poor people in my sight lines, and I am not a poor person in yours. Gratitude is the number one healer. Let's go ahead and heal spiritually, mentally, physically, and universally. Thank you.